a state where your actions, beliefs, and goals are in harmony with your true self, intuition, or your soul's purpose. These are words that I want to continue to come back to and remind myself and just make sure I'm checking in. Vision mapping would be taking that vision board and actually coming up with different steps to try to achieve those goals. Since becoming a mother, it's very hard to focus on yourself at times. So I really want to make this year about coming back to me. I do feel like my healing journey was like really moving forward. Hey, it's Nyla. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. If we haven't met yet, I am a full-time working mom with a 3-year-old, and on this channel I like to talk about design, but specifically focusing on the home, how it impacts our well-being, and just different things that we can do daily to improve that. If that all sounds good to you, please make sure to like and subscribe. My goal this year is to release videos every Sunday. If not every Sunday, maybe every other Sunday. Overall, I just want to be more consistent. So I have been down bad. So I was planning to do a January reset. So I like to do a seasonal reset whenever the seasons change. And this year, like right before New Year's Eve, I got so sick and I didn't know what I had, and so I ended up taking my daughter to the doctors yesterday because she got sick from me, and I typically don't go to the doctors. That's just how I grew up. So my mom never went to the doctors, and it's just a very bad habit that I am trying to get out of, because I know that I need to go at least once a year and like make sure I'm getting my blood work done. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. So we have the flu. So I don't remember ever having the flu before. I'm sure that I have in my younger years, but I didn't understand how it put me down, because typically when I'm sick, I might be in bed maybe for like a day. 2 is kind of like pushing it, but then I'm like typically up, moving around, getting things done. This put me out. Like I was in the bed, couldn't do anything. Like I was staring at the ceiling. It was so bad, and I'm like, what is going on here? So I'm still very much sick. It's been about 7 days now, and I couldn't stay down one more day. And also, it's time to get back to work this week, so my brain is still a little fuzzy. I'm struggling to keep it together. But since I was starting to like feel a little bit better, get back to myself a little bit, wanted to test my limits a little bit and start moving towards my goal for this month, which is my January reset. So, already at the left. So, I wanted to start off with my word of the year. This is something that's new for me this year. I've never done a word of the year, but reading about it, it kind of made sense to me because I really want to have a word that I can consistently go back to. And even if it's not on the forefront of my brain, I want something in my subconscious to constantly be thinking back to it. So my word of the year is aligned, and I really felt like having a sense of alignment would be a really great way to get all of my ducks in a row and help me to stay on top of all of my goals for this year. And actually, in order to get to that word, I wrote down a series of different words of what I wanted my year to look like, and I asked ChatGPT to combine all of those words into one word, and what word would that look like. So, and then I came up with alignment. So what does alignment mean? Okay, so it is a state where your actions, beliefs, and goals are in harmony with your true self, intuition, or your soul's purpose. So I felt like for a long time I had all these different goals, all these different interests, and my energy has kind of just been scattered from place to place in focusing on different areas of my life. I feel like I've spent so much time just fine-tuning, narrowing things down, and eliminating things that no longer served me. So I really wanted my sense of alignment to really be my central focus for this year, because I really feel like now that I've kind of developed more of a clear head on the path that I want to take, I want to align who I am and who I've come to be with my current goals, and just take different actionable steps in order to achieve those goals. Okay, so here's a list of the words that I came up with that kind of like embody this one word, and these are words that I want to continue to come back to and remind myself, and just make sure I'm checking in and seeing if these words are aligned with who I want to be. So some of the words are growth, peace, knowledge, balance, discovery, happiness, intention, becoming, fulfilled, proficiency, accomplished, soft, grounded. So if I think about what I want for myself this year and how I plan on achieving different goals that I'm setting for myself this year, I want to make sure that I have all of the tools in my tool belt to continue to succeed in those goals. So for me, that's reminding myself of, I don't want to just say positive words, but that's reminding myself of words that I want to show me and to describe me. So the plan is, if I get more comfortable with using these words as a starter pack to describe myself, then it starts to become a part of who I am. Because if your brain hears that she's so soft, she's such a grounded person, she's so grounded, like if you tell yourself something over and over again, you start to believe it. This is true with the negative just as much as it's true with the positive. So if you're feeding yourself negative words, I think it's extremely important to try to like combat that with positive words. And I truly deep down believe that it will help your body and your mind to readjust, to realign, and to become like the positive form or the positive words that you're feeding to yourself or you're feeding to your brain. Because our brains can be tricky that way. Like if you hear something over and over again, it's kind of like marketing. If you see something over and over again, you're like seeing it, you get ads for it, you keep seeing it, eventually you're gonna like click. You're like, okay, I keep saying this over and over again. It becomes ingrained in like the back of your head. So I feel like the same is true with words. If you're telling yourself words over and over again, if you're telling yourself certain phrases, certain statements over and over again, then you start to believe in those things. So I want to make sure I'm surrounding myself with really healthy, really positive word choices that I want to embody me and embody my lifestyle and the person that I want to be this year. So very simply, that is my word of the year: alignment. So good morning. It is the next day. In my previous video, I had talked about doing a January reset, which is supposed to be a 31-day reset, but because we've had the flu, I've kind of just been down for like the first week of the year. So now I'm just trying to get back to myself slowly. And I originally designed this reset to be very low maintenance. I didn't want to overwhelm myself. So for my reset, I had like very minimal things planned each day. Today I planned to go through my life categories and do a little bit of vision mapping. So if you're unfamiliar with vision mapping, as opposed to a vision board would be more like pictures and like what your goals and stuff are for the year. Vision mapping would be taking that vision board and actually coming up with different steps to try to achieve those goals. So this actually makes me very happy and very excited because I love to plan what my life is going to be. So I've actually just started writing things here and there. So this is just a way for me to organize and make sure I'm capturing all the different areas of my life and make sure that I have balance. So my categories specifically, which might be common for a lot of people, are travel, fitness, beauty, leisure, finances, health, personal, home, and business. So for each category, I like to set a goal for the year. I've never really done like the actual vision mapping before. I've always kind of done like a vision board, so this is new for me this year. Supposedly it yields like really good results because as opposed to you just having a goal or a vision with no idea of how you're going to get there, this year actually coming up with a plan so you know that you can take these certain steps in order to achieve your goal. So I'm using Notion, which I have all my life categories in Notion. I actually just found like a template on Notion. I think it was called Life Planner, if I'm not mistaken. Starting off with my travel category, I'm kind of gonna go like from the bottom up. So my goal for this year would be I want to visit Canada this year. I planned Canada for my birthday one year and I didn't end up going. So I'm really interested in visiting Quebec City. It looks extremely pretty there. Also, I went to schedule a meeting, just a meeting with my family for a trip to Europe. It's probably not gonna be this year or next year, maybe not even the next, but I want to get it into like the conceptual phases even to get them thinking about it because there's so many of us. And even for us to like take a trip to Florida, it takes like lots of time and energy and effort and planning to get everybody on the same page. So for a trip like going to Europe, especially with kids, that's going to take a lot of planning and a lot of like advanced time. So that's my goal this year. Next would be my fitness category, which has sadly gone downhill. I do put my best when I'm doing some kind of workout, whether that's getting to the gym in the morning and doing like, you know, cardio and strength training, or if it's putting on like a YouTube video at home and doing something at home. But I know that I need to do something and get my body moving because when I don't, it's like a domino effect. It like affects everything else. So my goals are, I want a daily cardio, no matter how small. I would like to attend a fun workout class. I feel like it's something that I've like kind of always wanted to do, and I want to attend regular Pilates classes, whether that looks like maybe like once a month, twice a month, or whatever. I did do one beginner's Pilates class and I really liked it, and I really feel like it could be helpful and beneficial. My beauty category would be skincare, like my face and body, and then also my hair, nails, and then my wardrobe, my closet, clothing. So for 2026, I would like to master a new basic makeup routine. I've kind of always done the same makeup routine, so I want to try something different, especially because I'm not in my 20s anymore, and I'm not so sure the same makeup routine from my 20s is going to work for me in my 30s, so I want to explore that a little bit more. So when I go out, I don't look dated and I have like a fresh face, you know? So that's on my list to learn this year. And I want to have thicker hair and try to increase my collagen production. So I know like when you hit your 30s, your hair starts to thin, you start to lose like elasticity in your skin. And in my 20s, I used to take collagen powder, but now that I've changed my diet and now that I'm like vegan-ish, mostly like pescatarian, I am trying to explore a vegan diet again. That's in my other category, my other life category. But I do want to figure out a way to have more collagen production. I also want to have softer skin using low tox products. So the goal is to, you know, slowly transition towards healthier products. I stopped my skincare treatments. A couple years back, I had developed like this skin condition, and I still very much do have like all the marks from it, but my skin would like get really, like I was breaking out into like this rash at like random times, and my skin would get really red and blotchy. And then because of the melanin in my skin, it caused like that pigmentation, so I have like these dark splotches all over my body, and I had to go through this UV light treatment to heal my skin. But it doesn't heal the hyperpigmentation. If anything, it makes it worse. It makes the spots darker. So my dermatologist did say eventually post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation will fade. It has faded a bit, but it's still very noticeable. So I'm still healing from that, and I've kind of just switched like my skincare products altogether. So my skincare products now, I'm basically just doing like for like my body care, I don't use any type of like scented lotion. I do all unscented. And then I was doing Eucerin for a while, although Eucerin is not cruelty free, so I prefer not to use it. But anyway, this is just a quick overview, so I'm going way too much into that. So anyway, I want to have softer skin. That's my goal. So in my leisure category, I actually have like books, movies. I moved my relationships into this category, and also my seasonal bucket list of just things that I would like to do each season. So my goals this year are, I want to spend more time on cultural development and learning about my interests. I really feel like this year is all about coming back to myself. Since becoming a mother, it's very hard to focus on yourself at times. So I really want to make this year about coming back to me, finding my interests and who I am again. And I think that's all about alignment, which is my word of the year. And I'm not ready to stop growing. So growth is a goal every year, and it will continue to be until the end of my life. I want to complete my seasonal bucket list, of course, and I'd also really like to build a community with people who share my interest, which is also why I wanted to get back on YouTube again. And like on my channel, I just want people to be able to like help each other and just feel like very connected, and just, you know, to share thoughts and ideas, and that's my goal for this year. I also want to plan more activities for my daughter. Hopefully we'll be getting her into preschool this year, but in the meantime, since she's just home with me and my partner, it's kind of just up to us to plan like different things for her to do every day, all day. So I do want to plan more activities for her and like just have it planned out ahead of time, so I'm not scrambling, and it feels a little bit more cohesive and she has things to do during the day. So for my financial category, I would like to make additional and passive income. I used to have an Etsy shop with digital invites, and I did make some passive income from that, but now I'm more interested in doing like design boards or like design mock-ups. I definitely want to try to invest even like something small this year. I've never done it before. I didn't grow up with that. My parents never invested, so I don't really know a lot about it, but you know, breaking generational curses and things of that nature. I definitely want to get back into therapy. It's something that I feel like, even though I've only ever done it once, and that was for postpartum depression, I definitely felt a lot better when I was in therapy, and I do feel like my healing journey was like really moving forward. Just thinking about my life and some past events, I definitely do want to get back into therapy this year. So I do have a couple people to reach out to and start going again and working on my mental health. I also have to get back into a vegan diet. I feel like I'm trying to find balance with happiness with food and then feelings of like healthiness with food. So I do feel like I liked my body the best when I was on a vegan diet, although I'm probably happiest more of like a vegetarian diet. But I do feel like with the vegetarian diet, the dairy and things like that, I gain weight a little bit more easily. But the vegan diet, it's probably also more for like personal reasons too, as opposed to it just being for like health reasons. So I do want to get back into incorporating a vegan diet more days throughout the week. I also have on here meal prepping. So when I meal prep, I have so much more time for other things instead of scrambling to create meals every single day. So I definitely want to meal prep more just to have more time for myself and to also have like healthier choices and healthier options for my daughter. Okay, so in my personal life category, this would be like my morning routine, night routine, and just different habits. So my only goal here really is to create an easy habit tracker and to follow it. I stopped pushing myself super hard with routines because I found that with my daughter, days were constantly changing. So there are definitely ebbs and flows, and I find that when I'm trying to follow a really hard set routine and I fall off like one day, it's really hard to pick myself up and get back to it. So I want to focus more on habits that I currently have and habits that I'm happy with, and focus on how often I'm actually doing those habits, and then slowly layer on different habits in order to kind of build like a very soft routine as opposed to like a very hard set routine. So I want to create an easy habit tracker and I want to be able to like just follow that. For my home, I want to complete a new project every month. I want to make my home feel more personal, and I want to learn a new home construction skill. I really like doing home DIY projects. I really like learning about interior construction. My dream further down the line one day is to be able to build my own home, and then that may not look like me actually like building it from like the ground up. Obviously I would have to hire like a builder and things like that, but I would like to take part in being able to like construct walls and things like that. So when I do become a homeowner, I want to be able to create the home that I really want, and for that I'm gonna need construction knowledge. So it's on my list to learn a new skill this year, and I just want to keep acquiring new skills. So my last category would be business and career. So my goal is to be consistent on YouTube and Pinterest. I absolutely love Pinterest. You won't find me on Instagram, but you will find me on Pinterest. I mean, I have an Instagram account. Maybe I'll get back to it, but that's neither here nor there. That's like a whole story. So I want to be more consistent with posting weekly videos and like shorts videos so I can grow and build my community. And I also want to be more consistent on Pinterest with my design boards and posting there, because it's something that I love doing, and I went to school for interior design. I love interior design. It's what my channel is about. So I really do want to continue with the mood boards and really just become very consistent with it. So those are my goals for this year. So as far as vision mapping, My next steps are going to be to sit down and come up with a plan for each category. I'm going to take my time because, you know, I have the whole year to do it. So I don't want to pressure myself, because when I put too much pressure on myself, then I have to like step back because it just becomes too overwhelming. So yeah, so those are my current goals. Right now, it feels very manageable and I feel comfortable with the goals that I've set for myself. They don't feel like intangible. It feels like I can achieve these goals. So I'm really happy and really excited about the coming year.